Alright, I'm a pop culture alcoholic and I'm suffering from a media hangover. Did you ever have one of those movies that you decided you were never going to go watch because there were some people who went to see it and they all told you that it was terrible and so you decided never to go see it? Well, today's movie was one of those for me. But alcohol has a very dangerous effect on the mind and somehow it ended up in my DVD player and then I ended up sitting through it. And now that I've borne it, I've decided I'm going to share it with you. So, welcome to my review of The Green Lantern. Now I should state before we get going that before this movie I had nothing personal against Ryan Reynolds. I hadn't really seen anything he's appeared in because despite being someone who actively seeks out bad movies through some kind of sick self-abuse, he usually managed to slip under my radar. But of the movies that he's been in that I've seen, literally none of them have been good. But now that I've decided to kick off my new series of reviews with a bout of crappy superhero movies, I finally had to confront him. So come on Reynolds, let's watch this mother! Did I mention I'm allergic to the colour green? I hope there's not going to be too much of it in this movie. So, as with almost all science fiction movies, we kick off with a narration.
Billions of years ago, a race of immortals harnessed the most powerful force in existence.
Oh, Jeffrey Rush, no!
Great, now I have guilt!
So apparently, according to the narration, the Green Lantern Corps is a group of space cops who each have a sector of the universe to patrol. There's about 3,600 of them. Which really begs the question, why do we need that many? Especially when they're frequently seen in this movie standing around doing absolutely nothing. Anyway, we start on the lost planet of Riot, which is apparently located in the Lost Sector. How the planet is lost and how the sector could possibly be lost is anyone's guess. I imagine they just liked the name. Apparently this is where one of the Lanterns imprisoned one of their greatest enemies, Parallax. We then see some crash-landed aliens stumble across the creature who feasts on their fear and is awakened. We then cut to Abin Sur, the Lantern who defeated Parallax, who gets a message from his friend Sinestro. And I'm sure with a name like Sinestro, he's going to remain a good guy throughout this movie. Next thing you know, Abin Sur is getting a warning on his ring. Welcome to voicemail. You have one new message. Message 1. He's attacked by Parallax but escapes, mortally wounded. Go, Star Wars ripoff, go! Cut to Earth, where we see our hero for the first time the same way we should in all kids' superhero movies. In post-coital glow. How charming.
Sorry, I gotta run. Make yourself at home, okay? There's, water in the tap.
Douchebag? Reckless idiot? Oh, Ryan Reynolds, is there no end to your charm?
Asshole.
Yes, you are. Reynolds is a jet pilot and he calls into work just in time to be late for a test flight. An obvious love interest is not happy. Honestly, if I ever see a superhero movie that doesn't push out the obvious love interest in the first 5 seconds, I will eat my hat. And I'm saying that as somebody who's about to watch lots and lots of bad superhero movies. So, not content with being an arsehole with his own car on the ground, Reynolds decides to be a dick with thousands of dollars of government equipment in the air, even to the extent of using his own friend as a decoy.
Now stay right there and look real pretty.
Penis away! He flies up into the atmosphere, causing his jet to stall and start to plummet towards the Earth. And on the way down, he starts seeing memories of his father, who was apparently killed in a jet accident. Hang on a second, I'm not done having a flashback. Sorry, what were you saying? Ah! He ejects, the jet blows up, and Reynolds is nearly fired for destroying thousands of dollars of equipment. But really, who gives a crap? We cut back to Abin Sur, who has just crash landed on Earth. I could do that, but nah. Back home, Reynolds is comforting his nephew, who is apparently upset by him nearly getting himself killed.
Hey, got you something, birthday boy. Wrapped it myself.
Cool, it's an X1, right?
Starfighter. My dad gave me that.
The one who died horribly in that jet crash? Thanks. Makes me feel So much better. Next thing you know, the ring's magic powers picks up Reynolds and brings him to Abin Sur. Michael Jackson? Sorry, I know, too obvious. Abin Sur gives Reynolds the ring and tells him to activate it using the lantern, and then dies in his arms. Reynolds calls his geeky friend, who looks stupidly like Moss from the IT crowd, and they leave with the lantern and the ring, just before some government officials arrive for the body.
He said that the ring chose me. He said it was a great honor. Responsibility. Maybe on their planet, responsibility just means asshole.
He said asshole! I fucking love being 8 years old. Cut to Hector Hammond, a scientist who is called into a base where they were clearly going for the classic lantern motif in order to study Abin Sur's body. Whilst there, he gets infected with the bacteria from the wound Parallax gave Abin Sur. Meanwhile, Reynolds has started to get the lantern working, apparently becoming possessed by Satan, when love interest calls round and they go for a drink and sparks seem to be flying.
You look pretty.
Reynolds storms out like a whiny little girl after things get personal when he's attacked by assholes from his work. Welcome to level 1 of the Green Lantern video game. Remember, press triangle to activate your lantern powers. Good job! Yeah, that guy's probably dead now. I mean, this isn't the first Spider-Man movie. Brick walls don't bounce around like rubber here. Then the ring pulls its carrying you wherever the fuck it feels like trick again, and takes Reynolds to the Green Lantern Corps, and they strip him down to his tighty whities. Hey Greg, let's randomly torture this guy. Suddenly he wakes up in his new lantern suit. I guess that whole excruciating pain thing is just how they measure tailored suits on that planet. He's welcomed by Jeffrey Rushfish.
Welcome to our...
I believe it's pronounced Oz.
Rip off!
Bless you.
So they have a little fly, with Reynolds' head looking ridiculously slapped onto his CGI surroundings.
What is that?
It's the energy that's generated from the central battery. Its power comes from the will of every living creature in the universe. It in turn charges your lantern, which in turn charges your ring. The Guardians harnessed will because it's the strongest source of energy in the universe.
Yeah, but how did they harness the power of will? Not going to explain that? That's all? Okay.
What's with all the green?
Green is the color of will.
Blue is the colour of faith, orange is the colour of hunger, and sexual desire is truest obsidian black. So there's a ceremony Sinestro goes on about Parallax, but screw all that shit, let's get to the training. So Reynolds is trained by an alien called Kilowog.
Let's see what you got. Your constructs are only gonna be as strong as your will, and your will is pathetic. I'm gonna work you, and I'm gonna hit you until your will is strong enough to be worthy of the core.
I'ma get medieval on your ass.
Feel that? That's the gravitational pull of your average sun. Makes flying through space very dangerous. The bigger you are, the quicker you burn.
Ooh, I wonder if that'll become a plot point later.
Gravity's a bitch.
Now he said bitch. Do more swear words.
Let me help you. Remember, your enemy, he's not gonna play fair.
A nutshot, the hallmark of mature cinema. So Sinestro, being a jackass, challenges Reynolds to a fight.
Makes your constructs feeble.
Fuck dude, a machine gun? If he hadn't created that shield, he'd be dead right now. I do have to say here that Mark Strong makes a fantastic Sinestro, one of the few saving graces of this movie. Since Kick-Ass and Sherlock Holmes, I've come to think he makes a great arsehole villain. But enough of good things in this movie. Reynolds decides to quit and heads back to Earth, taking the ring with him, for some reason, meaning his sector will be unprotected. Not that anyone ever addresses that obvious problem. We cut back to Hector, who's taking a class with some students who start thinking pretty nasty things about him.
but might turn out to be different from bacteria environments on Earth, such as the boiling waters of a geyser. Michael! What did you say?
I didn't say anything.
Did you just call me a loser? Freak!
Fuck, man, you just threw a kid!
Class dismissed.
No! How are you able to go back to your lab? After something like that, you'd be reported and triple fuck fired immediately. But Hector is called into his dad's office as a senator. Whilst there, he learns not only that he only got the job to examine Abin Sur because of his dad's connections rather than on his own merit, but also that his dad thinks he's a loser.
He'll never get it. Just wasting his life away. What an embarrassment.
Who thinks like this? You're making me side with a villain, you assholes! Then we cut back to Sinestro and some lanterns attacking Parallax. And maybe it's because I'm a bit drunk, but what the fuck is going on right now? Who is the main villain in this? Hector? Parallax? Sinestro? How does the lantern turn will into energy? Why is will green? Why is fear yellow? How come fear allows you to have telekinetic and psychic powers, but will helps you to create matter? What is Parallax? Where did he come from? Are there more of him? How does he harness fear without a ring or lantern? And what is happening to Reynolds' section of the universe whilst he's buggered off with the ring? What am I watching? Speaking of Sinestro, I've forgotten to mention his fairly unimportant subplot. Parallax is on his way to Oa, and he can be stopped before he gets there, theoretically using a yellow ring, but that will inevitably mean sacrificing the Earth, as Parallax will reach there before, well, I suppose before they can finish the ring? But that makes no sense, because we actually see them with a completed ring before he reaches Earth, so this subplot almost immediately makes no sense. Anyway, Sinestro has been explaining this to a group of weird blue people who are called the Guardians. And here they do kind of explain what Parallax is. Apparently he's a Guardian who tried to harness the power of fear, but then became a hideous monster and for some reason turned evil. Why did he change sides? Why did he turn into a monster? How is he actually harnessing fear? Why did fear have a present location in the form of a giant ball of yellow? Why does will have a location too? If you're using will as a power, isn't that draining the will from the sentient beings of the universe? I still have no idea. Anyway, back on Earth, Reynolds has his priorities straight by heading to a party, hosted by Hector's dad.
You know, I always say there are thinkers in this world and there are doers, and you are one of the doers.
I mean, you got shit for brains, but at least you hurtle towards obstacles as quickly and as with little thought as possible, almost inevitably failing. Ooh, time for some boring chemistry.
Nice.
Yeah, my dad used to train in it.
I was talking about your dress.
Nice jacket.
So are we just going to stand here complimenting each other's clothes, or are we going to fuck? Anyway, Hector's dad makes a thank you speech to Reynolds and love interest, but totally neglects Hector, so Hector decides to enact revenge. They always said booze would kill me, but I never thought it would be like this! But Reynolds gets into his costume and saves them by summoning up a green Hot Wheels track. How unnecessary. Excuse me a minute, I've got to go buy some Hot Wheels. Cheers, Hal, appreciate it. Back at his apartment, Hector is going through some more changes due to the infection, for some reason causing him to trash the place. Damn it, it's not Feng Shui! So Moss turns up at Reynolds' house, obviously knowing the obvious fact that he is the Green Lantern. Reynolds then decides to pay a visit to the love interest.
Evening, ma'am. Didn't get a chance to say goodbye. Are you okay?
God, no, I'm glad to have a chance to thank you.
Just doing my job. No thanks necessary, miss.
No, it is. You saved my life.
Seriously, woman, how do you not immediately see that it's him? You've had sex with him, for fuck's sake!
Hal?
Miss.
Hal?
Thank you!
Hal!
How did you know it was me?
What do you mean? I've known you my whole life. I've seen you naked. You don't think I would recognize you because I can't see your cheekbones? What is this? Why is your skin green?
Skin green? You do understand how the concept of clothes works, right?
So it all works because of this magic ring?
No, there's no such thing as magic.
Well, you're DC, so actually, yeah, there is. And if not, then fucking explain it in any other way!
Anything I see in my mind, I can create. I just have to focus.
Anything?
Anything. Happy birthday.
You do know that thing is gonna vanish as soon as he stops thinking about it.
Okay, so how does it work? They just, call you on your cell, cat in a tree, downtown Milky Way?
No, I don't think it works exactly like that. Well, technically speaking, I actually sort of, quit.
What do you mean? How?
Well, I mean, it's a lot like quitting anything else, really.
I don't understand.
You know, the more this woman talks, the more I get the feeling that she's quite dense. I mean, at least at the start of the movie she was portrayed as strong-willed, intelligent, not to be messed with, but then as soon as she finds out he's Green Lantern, it's all... And how to end a scene like this? Why, with him openly checking out her boobs. Nice one, Reynolds. So some government officials call on Hector, and they seem perfectly fly about the whole giant head thing. But once they have him at their base, they put him under. Probably be a good idea to kill him, guys. You know, since he can and will kill people when he wakes up. Or not. So Hector wakes up and he kills everyone in the room but his dad. Then Reynolds shows up and they have a little fight. Oh, stop using your power on objects and just use them on each other! It's like in Star Wars when they randomly start throwing crap at each other in the middle of a lightsaber fight. If you have telekinetic powers, just pick up your enemy and slam them repeatedly against a wall or something. So Hector manages to kill his dad, and for some reason the fight just stops there. Seriously, no real reason to stop. Hector just vanishes and Reynolds is all like,
Oh, I'm just gonna have to stop it. Well, I tried that and I failed, and the senator died. I told you the ring made a mistake.
for fuck's sake, man, you know where he is. Go and find him and kill him. It's not like you really lost that fight. Stop giving up at every opportunity you get. I'm just getting the feeling that you don't want to do it because you're fucking lazy. What's wrong with you, Ryan Reynolds?
The one thing that a Green Lantern is supposed to be is fearless. Fearless is the job description. That isn't me.
So you're just gonna walk away again? Explain this to me, Hal. Please explain to me just once why.
Because I'm afraid.
You don't think your dad ever felt afraid?
Well, maybe in the few moments before he became Kentucky Fried Father.
If he did, he'd figure out some way to beat it.
Yeah, well, there's a word for that.
Alcohol? Actually, it wouldn't be a bad idea if the Green Lantern was a drunk. If fear's what defeats him, if he was a drunk, he'd be undefeatable.
Do you feel fear, Hal Jordan?
Me? Scared? Why don't you come over here and say that? I'll kick your head in. So apparently Parallax actually needs to tell Hector to kill Reynolds, even though that was an obvious thing to do anyway. I'm just wondering how the fuck Hector is currently walking free when he's already killed a shitload of people. Back with the Guardians, Reynolds goes to plead Earth's case.
I know that humans aren't the strongest species, or the smartest. We're young, we have a lot to learn. But we're worth saving.
Well, you didn't actually give me a reason why I should save them, so... no. Our culture, our literature... none of us have read it. We're hardly likely to miss it.
Look, I know right now you're afraid.
You dare accuse the Guardians of feeling fear?
Yes, I do. And that's exactly why Parallax is beating you, because you're afraid to even admit you're afraid.
Oh, fuck off, you pop psychology prick!
You know, we say on Earth, we say, I'm only human. We say it because we're vulnerable. We say it because we know we're afraid. It doesn't mean we're weak.
Yes, it does. The reason why we are vulnerable is because we're not perfect. Certain parts of us are weak. Why does strength even come into that phrase for you? It has nothing to do with fear most of the time either. The reason why we feel fear is because there are certain things that we cannot do and we will get hurt if we do them. But we don't want these people to admit fear. We want them not to feel it. In a world where fear is your only weakness, you have literally nothing to fear. You are near indestructible. Just get rid of fear and you'd be fine and you have nothing to fear. This recursive logic makes no sense.
Don't risk any more lives. Just mine. Let me go fight for my world and I'll show you that will is stronger than fear.
So Reynolds gets them to agree to do nothing, just like they were before, and then he leaves. What a lovely and really, really pointless scene. Oh, and we can wave goodbye to that subplot whilst we're at it, because it's pretty much never going to turn up again. Bye! So Reynolds goes to confront Hector, who has taken love interest hostage, and Reynolds offers him the ring in exchange for her freedom. I know it looks like I'm rushing this bit, but it really does actually move along this fast.
Now bring her down.
No. I lied.
I lied too. You see, the way it works is you have to be chosen.
Then why did it work the first time? Next thing, Parallax shows up and the first thing he does is eat Hector. Bye, character intended to be the main villain in this film. I enjoyed you having no point. So Parallax heads off to begin consuming the Earth.
You can never beat this. You'll die.
At least I can get it away from here.
How do you think you're gonna do that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Then what makes you think you can do it at all?
Maybe I can outthink it. Or the dogfight, remember?
Those were a couple of jets.
Unbeatable jets. The ring chose me for a reason.
Because I was better than you, and, by extension, everyone else on Earth. So Parallax starts eating people, and we see some pretty dark images here. Then Reynolds attacks, but gets cornered by Parallax.
I feel your fear growing. You will be dead soon. And when you're gone, I'll destroy everything you ever loved.
Shall escape my son.
Your family, your home, your planet will be no more.
Those who worship evil's
The entire human race will be wiped out because you, Hal Jordan, were afraid.
Beware my power. Green Lantern's life.
Willgasm! So Reynolds not only is better than everyone else on Earth, but he also has a stronger will than the entire Green Lantern Corps combined. Fuck you. So, for some reason, Parallax follows Reynolds, and Reynolds leads him to the edge of the sun.
The bigger you are, the faster you burn.
Oh, plot point! And a final Ghost Rider style fuck you to the audience by having the main villain finally defeated the same way he defeated a couple of guys in the street. And hey, Sinestro saves him from the sun. I guess he ain't so bad at the end of the day.
Though his time wearing the ring has been brief, Hal Jordan's defeat of Parallax will be remembered as long as the Corps exists. His actions are a reminder of why the ring chose each of us.
'Cause we were good, though obviously not as good as him. So we have our Hollywood ending kiss, and Green Lantern flies off with Jeffrey Rush doing one final narration.
Of all the lanterns who have ever worn the ring, there was one whose light shined brightest. At first, his humanity was thought to be a weakness, and yet it proved to be his greatest strength.
He was Hal Jordan, and he was the most brilliantest thing who ever lived. So that was Green Lantern, and good God was it boring. I mean seriously, the logic is non-existent, the plot holes are many, and almost no questions are properly answered. Ryan Reynolds is a jackass who they try to portray as Jesus, and he is just annoying, annoying, annoying. I wish I had a Green Lantern ring so I could giant fist punch this thing into a different sector of the universe, and the Ewoks can deal with it instead. I need not to be sober. I'm the pop culture alcoholic, and I'm suffering from a media hangover. And at this rate, I will be tomorrow as well.